still, I don't know if I'm used to winter yet. You keep thinking you get acclimated, but it takes a while. Come to think of it, how many people forget my voice. I've been struggling. It made the fade on me. It faded this morning. So what I'd like to talk about today, I hope you guys have enjoyed the clinic so far. I'm sure a lot of great things said. They gave me the opportunity to come in and talk about anything. Normally, they tell you what they want to talk about. And it's great to have that option to just come in and speak about different things. First, before we get started, I'd like to talk about our team. We've been struggling this year so far, exhibition, trying to buy a win. And last night, our guys, I thought, played great. We couldn't walk away with the win. We played fantastic basketball. We had the return of Isaiah Thomas. And I thought we had this thing for sure. And when you're going to get Houston Rockets in their front line, it's really tough to think you can have an insurance win. We went into overtime. We ended up losing by 1 point. It was a great game. But, we're suffering right now. We were suffering for when the exhibition season is over. I think we're going to have a great team this year. And players of caliber, of leadership, Isaiah Thomas, Joseph Moss, Bill Ambier, I'm sure we're going to be fine. Today I want to talk about, since we sort of had a problem with it last night, to a degree, low post defense, from a man-to-man defensive end. There are several ways you can play this thing. Our defensive structure is done by colors, and various teams have defensive calls for different strategies in defending the low post. Some use alphabets, some use numbers. We use colors. And because the NBA is so strong with such talent such as Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Keem Olajuwon, which I think is probably the greatest center in the league, you have to devise some defensive strategy to stop this guy from a man-to-man standpoint. Of course, you're aware we're not allowed to play so-called zones, but you try to stretch it as much as you can without breaking the rules. We have certain guidelines which we have to abide by, and it really is very restricted. I would like to see in the NBA any type of defense you want to play, and then put the little bit of pressure on the offense to make the adjustment to it. But since we have just plain old straight out man-to-man, and you're not allowed to stall up and ask for a game, it presents a problem in guarding stronger centers. If I can do this stuff in here. Okay. I'm going to just go over some of our defensive strategies in defending powerful centers, post up in man-to-man position, and just go over the different defensive calls we have for stopping this particular guy. I'll get this to her later. Need help from everybody. Most setups, in order to isolate that guy, most setups are done in this manner to spread the court. When you have a great setup, posted, you want to try to give him as much room as possible, so that if there is a double team, the defense is spread out so far that it creates a hole, so that an offensive player who's flush from the ball or up top can get an open shot. And the best way I see would be this diagram here, where you have your two strongest shooters, the 1 and the 2 man, and you have the 4 and the 3 away from the ball. And normally the best shooters are 1, 2, and 3 players. So you try to get those guys on the perimeter as far away from the ball as possible, but with the spacing that the defense is spread out. Since we can't zone defense. We try to spread this thing out and stretch it as much as we can here. Running straight next to here. Now, in the NBA, you allow to drop off to a degree. I'm not a good artist, by the way. Kill me on that. You can go as far as the 4 lane there, which is inside the college, outside the college lane. So these people here can play that type of defense. It's not an all-out zone, because you're relying on the position to play men. We have several ways of coming down the trap in the center. We either come off the ball, this guy who normally passes it in, or we call it the top. The next player counterclockwise from the ball. We call it the top. Now, the third player away we call weak side. All right? He's the guy that we want to come off when we feel that he's a very weak shooter. Normally, most teams try to disguise or hide their weak shooter, so they'll put that guy as far away from the ball as possible. And that's the guy we want to try to come off. But if you have a weak shooter on the ball, we call that coming from the ball. Now, some teams use X, Y, and Z. X would be the passer, Y would be the top, Z would be away from the ball. But we're going to talk about today coming off the passer. Trap the low post from the passer. As the ball goes in to the low post player, we want that player on the ball not to pressure the passer, because we're going to trap. We want to invite the pass into the low post. By doing this, it shortens our distance from the ball to the center. So if we are jammed up on him, then that means we have 2 or 3 steps more to run. If we drop off and get a space and maybe let's say halfway, then maybe we have 2 steps, 2.5 steps to get to the ball. Hands up, we try to get his hands up to invite an overhead pass instead of a bounce pass. That gives us a little bit more time to get there as well. When the ball goes into the center, we want to form a pocket, okay, between the X1 and X5. Now, the rule for X5 is never let the guy with the center go baseline. So he's a little bit shaded toward the baseline. So that when we form this pocket, we want to form a P-like pocket here on the trap. And we want to jam that guy. We want that receiver in the center. When he gets to the basketball, we want him to turn away. We want him to turn away from the double team. Okay? So when the double team occurs, am I using the right thing to erase this? Oh, that's why it's here, okay. ball. X5 on defense, X1. One is now being covered with X2. Okay? 2 open, 3 on the perimeter, 4. Normally you would die one of those big people. 4-3. So 3 would be the shooter. 3 saves, 4 dives. Okay. X3 plays halfway, anticipating the pass. X4 stays home, reads the defense. X2 has now rotated X1. X3 is anticipating the pass. Now, you have his view would be X2 and X3 halfway over. That's the center. He's being trapped and crowded. He's looking at X2 halfway over and X3 halfway over. I mean, 2 halfway over, 3 halfway over. X3 is reading the pass. Wherever the pass goes, that's where he goes. Okay? So if the ball is thrown to X2, he automatically goes and plays X2. Okay? If the ball, on the other hand, goes to his pass to 3, he follows the ball and goes to 3. So all he's thinking is, wherever the ball goes, I'm rotating. All right? Okay, if the ball goes to X2, the ball goes to X2, pass to X2 from 5. Okay. X3 now, guard here. Okay. X1 always turns out of double team and goes weak side. Now, if X2 is covered, he automatically goes to the open man. X4 is guarded, 4 guy who most of the time would die. Alright? X3 is left standing open. Since the ball's been thrown to X2 here, that gives X1 a chance to rotate weak side and plays X1. Alright? Now, when he rotates out top side to prevent middle penetration. The real force in this guy now is to drive baseline where all our help is. Everybody on the floor knows that if there's penetration, the ball goes to the baseline. Alright? Now, if the ball is driven to the baseline, X4 stops him, this guy drops, and this guy drops in there. So he has nowhere to go in that position. Alright, on the pass again. Okay. X1 has the ball. He passes it. This time he decides, I'm not going to stand. And a lot of times he tries to sprint the defense out by going baseline and spotting up in the baseline. Okay. Now, when that happens, we got a situation here because if X1 traps in that position, it's a long run for X2 to get from the top of the key all the way to the corner. The rules are, if X1 in his trapping process, if he can see his man, he goes back to him on the rotation. So now, in that angle there, he's trapping there, his vision just would be in this area right there. So if X1 goes there and the ball is passed out, he goes right back to his man, X2 stays. Okay? Everybody else stays home. We're trying to get the ball out of the best player's hand. That's X5. And we've succeeded in doing that. Ball back to X1's hand. All right? So that's a very limited rotation there. If he goes to the corner, to X3, X2, open. When X1 dies, X2 takes him. X2 takes him to the lane. But this guy's being trapped by X1 and X5. Like this. Okay? This vision, when he gets down this area right here, is very, very dim. Right? It's hard to get up past this guy in the lane here. So X4, when he gets to the lane, drops off a little bit more to protect. If the ball's passed out, the ball is passed out to X2, open here, because that's the 2, because X2 has already taken 1 here. In that position, 4 in there, and 3 is wide open there. We have a situation here because now the ball kicked out to the 2-man, X3 must rotate to it. Now X1 is covered by X2, X4 is covered. X2 is covered, okay, 3 is open. Now, X1 cannot get from here to there in this situation. It helps us a little bit, you can, but it helps us a little bit for X2 to take it to the lane and go back out, push out there, guard X3 on the weak side. We'll go back again. X1 can take his main man to the lane. Sorry, X2, X1 is trapping, X5, okay. 3 is open, X4, guy clogging up in the middle there. This is X standing there. X5 is being trapped. Okay. X3 covered here. X1 takes his man to lane and he pushes out and guards 3. That leaves now X4 in the lane to guard 4 and 1 man. So he moves over here in this position here. The 5 guy here still getting traps. Okay. Guard 1 gets that pass coming there. Normally this guy hangs in a little bit because once that reset lane he has to clear. But he picks that guy up as he comes to the lane because that's one down, pushes out to the 3 man. Now, if we decide to come trap the low post, from the top, okay, from the top being the next player counterclockwise from the ball. Okay? And that's 2. When the ball goes in, X1 stays home. X2 now is the trapper. Okay? So we're not even a pass it. X1 stays, X2 now comes to trap with X5. The same principle occurs. Okay? X3 becomes a halfway man. Right? If the ball's kicked out, let's say the ball's kicked out over here, this guy dies. Weak side, 3. The ball's passed out here to 3. X3. X2 still in the double with X5. X3 playing halfway, same principle goes to the ball. Now, the only difference in your rotation would be anytime you have this situation here, he's always going to the ball. All right, now, he goes back to his man top side, 2 guys, is programmed to go weak side. Now, when he starts weak side, he sees that 3 is covered. He cuts back to 2. Okay, so he's still picking up an open man. X3 falls the ball wherever pass goes, he's there. X2 now starts weak side, but now he's covered, goes back to 2. So we still covered we have X3 trapping with X5. Right? X2 now, guy halfway in. Pass goes out from 5 to 3. X2 now takes 3. Okay? X3 goes to 2, takes 7. Okay? 4 still colored here. Yeah. Top side, no middle. One more trap we use from the weak side. And that's when they normally they'll sit a 4-man, kind of a tandem in the low post area. Once again, this rotation differs also. It's a weak side rotation. When the ball goes in, here from 1 to 5, okay? The difference in how 5 is played is totally unlike shot from any other angle. One of the rules were never allow the 5 guy to spin baseline. This time you encourage that. We 3/4, the 5 man on the pass. Invite the pass to be thrown towards the baseline side. Okay? Now this gives us a chance for X4 come from the baseline to trap from the blind side, baseline side. Now when that happens, okay, he's been trapped here. We have a counterclockwise rotation. X3 drops down to take X4 automatically. X2 now zones it. Okay? He's now picking up 2 people. If the ball's passed out to X2, he goes back to his own man. X3 now goes back. X4 goes back to his own guy. So we have you're returning to your own people. Once again.